Bodhisattva sprinkles the body to relieve breast pain. There are 1,000 prayers, and there are 1,000 responses. This event happened in May 1960. Ah Wan Chen, 38 years old at that time, lived in Wufeng, Taichung. She developed pain in her left breast and had throbbing pain all over her ribs. Although treated by many eminent Chinese and Western doctors, not only was she not cured, but her disease got worse day by day. One day, when looking for a doctor, Huan unexpectedly met an old friend, Jiang Tao Chen. Huan was in tears and spoke the pain she was suffering from the strange disease. On hearing her mishap, Jiang Tao sympathized with her situation and said, "Don't cry, Huan, crying is even worse for your health. Buddha is the most compassionate. Why don't you come with me to the church to worship Buddha and pray to Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, Guanxi Yin Pusa, for shelter? If you sincerely repent and devoutly chant Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, release people from sufferings and disasters, you will be restored to health safely." When thinking that both Chinese and Western doctors were at their wits' end, Huan, who was helpless at that time, unreservedly agreed and followed her to the church. After listening to her explanation, all the Lotus Fellows said, "You must chant the holy name of the Buddha and Avalokitesvara with all your might." Meanwhile, they asked the water of great compassion mantra for her to drink, and gave her the statue of the three saints of the West, teaching her how to worship and recite the Buddha in the morning and evening. Since the prayer in the church, Huan had regained her spiritual strength, and she was no longer worried and distressed all day long like before. Now she desperately chanted the Buddha and chanted Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva at every moment. She pondered and assumed how wonderful it would be if she could get well. What if she failed? She would be devoted to seeking rebirth in Sukhavati. After she persisted in doing this for a dozen days, one night in a dream, she saw Avalokitesvara in a white dress, holding a willow branch in her right hand and a purifying vase in her left hand, sprinkling her with water from the willow branch. When woken up, she felt relaxed and comfortable, and her entire body was refreshing. Within a week afterwards, her body suddenly felt refreshed several times a day as if taken a fresh bath. Her breast pain gradually improved and was healed in a month. The induction of the Buddha is unimaginable. This is not the only rare thing, but the rarer thing is yet to come. 2 months after she recovered from her illness, a flood devastated their village on August 1st of the same year. Her house was submerged in several feet of water. Huan still chanted Avalokitesvara with all his heart and prayed for a shelter. Suddenly someone said to her, "The water has flooded our melon field with 3 to 4 feet deep. All the melons that were ripe for harvest will definitely be washed away." On hearing that, Huan cried out loud involuntarily, because she had worked hard on the melon fields for half a year. If it was washed away, that would be devastating. Even though Huan was anxious, there was nothing she could do but to burn incense and pray to Avalokitesvara that her house would not fall and the melon would not be flushed away. After a day and a night, the water gradually subsided. Huan was worried about her melon field, and her face was full of sorrow. While chanting Avalokitesvara on the way, she headed for the melon field to take a look. Surprisingly, there were many melons all over the field. Not only was there no loss, but many melons were flowing from nowhere, overlapping and piling up. And there were many trees and wood that flew in and surrounded the melon fields. 2 days later, Huan and her son took the mixed wood home to burn it as firewood, and they could not take it all in one day. When I preached Dharma on September 19 last year, hundreds of Lotus friends gathered in the church. Huan stood up spontaneously and told everyone this inspiring fact. She advised everyone to chant Amitabha Buddha and Avalokitesvara more often.